I've done some changes. First big change is I lightened the yellow color along here. It's a bit more goldy, brassy color, and I think it looks really good. I got rid of the vertical stripes. Some people were maybe not so happy about those, but I did keep them. They're just a faded gray. The reason I kept them is because they outline where each engine door is. Right, so if I open that, the door is the dark gray and the light gray on each side is the edges of the door. So it does have a purpose. I've done just some more decorative stuff, painting, some fluid ports. I've got buttons here on the front, so you can activate them from on top of the deck on the train, or if you're on the ground. Basically, you can deploy a coupler. So that's fun. What's happening here on the front is the staircase is lifting up, and so it creates this barrier. So if the coupler is out, you can't run off the edge. So you're pretty well confined in here. And then otherwise you can just walk right down. And when it's hidden in behind here, when it's not deployed, it automatically disconnects all the connections on there. So there's no chance of pulling another train or wagon inside this thing. I don't think these little rails on the top were there. I tried doing details and greebles, but I really like that this is quite a smooth and aggressive looking train or locomotive, and I don't want to add too much extra stuff on it. So yeah, it's been a bit of a challenge. The text that I've put on here, we've got Gen E1. So this E1 means it's the engine bay 1. And then the Gen means the generator is in there. Then we've got PST E2, so engine bay 2. And that is a piston behind there. E3, engine bay 3. PST, another piston. And it just goes on like that until we get to the back, where we've got BLR for boiler and FUR for furnace. Inside the cab, I've done quite a bit in here really. Oh, this door is not the right color anymore. And I'm not sure about this fire extinguisher, but the driver's seat and all the buttons and positions and stuff is all pretty much in the right place. So to the right, we've got a light switch panel. So this one on the far right is cab light. And then we've got high beams and headlights. So you're probably only going to turn on this top row for driving. These bottom rows are work lights, warning, and decorative. So they're kind of, there's none of those on this locomotive, but if you had wagons, rail cars, then this would be to activate those. As part of TCP, none of these extra lights, they won't turn on unless you're the master. So then you get the indicators. That's why I've got those indicators there, because you can flip the switches and like nothing will happen if you're not the master. So the master train controls all those, or the master locomotive. So we've got a throttle, which I need to change to say set speed or requested speed or something. And then a dial speedo. I like that a lot better than having a display for it. This display I'm going to set up as decouple if I can make it work. I need to modify the TCP interface to just have decouple because I don't like how much space it takes up using a 2x2 display. So I think I can make it work. Big track switch button right in the middle so you can see what's going on. And that is connected to that slightly taller antenna on the front there. So you've got a little bit of range. I think it was 1 kilometer of range. I've got a whistle. I better turn everything on. I've reduced the noise dramatically as well. So in here, above these two, there was 6 large pumps, and I've replaced them all with small impellers connected to one little motor in there, and they're all running at the same flow rate as those electric pumps, but it's so much quieter. There are still these pumps in here. I think these are a really neat feature. How they're just like, they're encased in the wall. I think it looks really cool. So I've left those. There's probably 3 more pumps up in the front I could remove, but I'm not too worried about it. The main thing was to get rid of the noise so that if you are in here, it's not terrible anymore to be sitting in here. And you may have noticed I've left 2 engine doors open and the driver's door. And I do this so often, so I've got a button up here which will close, they open and close the left and right doors. And then this button is an external button that just plugs into the external input of all the doors and pulses them all to go down. And then cab heater, we've got a heater in the roof. Not that you would need it because the furnace is right behind that wall. And then I'm pretty sure I want to get rid of this gauge and this button. Which means there's a buzzer somewhere that I haven't removed. But I've got a gauge here for the whistle steam. So there's separate steam for the driving power and then steam for whistling. So that means you can whistle as much as you like, because it is just dumping all that steam out a whistle. And you'll never lose power on the locomotive. But you will eventually run out of steam, so that's what this is doing. It's just going to go up until it's collected all the steam in a bunch of tanks. I want to have a way where you can collect water from the locomotive, but there is, if you have a look, there is up here on the roof, this is the whistle out, so the steam comes out here, and then this is a fluid port in if you want to put water into the system. And that just goes down into a tank below there to refill the boiler that creates steam for the steam whistle. So it is refillable, but I think it would be good to have some kind of arm or something that flips out from the side, so if you get over a rail bridge, you can lower down a winch and suck up some water and refill the steam in there. And then below that we've got a horn. It's a bit of a weird sounding horn. I've only got space for one siren, so I think I need two to make it sound really nice. I'll see how that goes. I might be able to try and find some space to add a second horn, or I might just need to change the pitch of this one. And then I wanted a bell, but it's not really worked out, so I think I'll be able to clear up these two slots here. The way that the bell sound ends, you have to really hold the button. If I just tap it, it's cutting it off too much, and it's just, I don't like it. Yeah, so this display will be permanent decouple, and then this display will be all the information about the boiler and the locomotive, the engine, the generated power and all that sort of stuff. Coming out the back, I've gone down to a open half gangway thing. So the way to get on is there's two handles here, so you can pull yourself up. You can kind of like crouch and maybe direct yourself up through there. Yeah, it works if you know what you're doing. And then the tender is sort of in progress still. Not much is really going on in there to show you, so yeah, we'll just forget about that. I like this so much better though, having this sort of open air outside thing and a little deck. But this is supposed to be grey like the rest of the interior, and the fire extinguisher is going to go. But yeah, I think we've probably got enough power, we've got enough steam in the system. So that's what's going to be on this display, is show you how much steam you have and how much electricity is being generated. So yeah, this throttle will need to say set speed or target speed instead of throttle. Around these kind of tracks on the land, it seems to be having some issues, and I don't know what's up with that. I think the tracks here just must be a bit sketchy. When I got up into the open ocean across the rail bridges, it was very consistent. Yeah, I think it's okay. I don't think there's too much I can do about it either. So set speed of 200, but we're only doing 120, but then suddenly, is it going up? Is it going down? I don't know. Because this locomotive was based off the Pennsylvania T1, I saw a picture that had Pennsylvania plastered across. I just changed it a little bit, so it's Pennsylvania. But I think that looks really cool. And it fits really well. It's perfect, basically. It's perfectly in the middle. And I really like this colors. I don't think I'm going to do much more painting. I've just got this bunch of microcontrollers up high that I need to squish down in the body somewhere. and I still have the display that needs configuring. But yeah, it's coming together really well. I don't think I'm going to put any instruments on this top row here. I kind of like that it's just a flat area. I'm just going to paint this door. Here is this fire extinguisher. I need a fire extinguisher up here. I tried to put one below the dash, but because this block is XML, it's what hides the weird clipping of the dash. And there's also a pivot that sticks out the wall here. If I put anything along this row, then it makes this wall of all these blocks invisible, and so you can see out through the wall, and I didn't like that. So yeah, that's where I am up to with this. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.